All right, today we're going to take a journey. We're heading out to the undisputed king of our solar system, a planet so huge it could swallow all the others whole. We're going to fly through storms bigger than Earth itself and dive into a core made of a metal that doesn't even exist here. So ready for a grand tour of Jupiter? That's what's so incredible to me. This isn't just about some big ball of gas floating out there in space. This one planet, it might actually hold the key to understanding how our entire solar system was formed, including us. It's kind of like a giant history book, just waiting to be read. Exactly. And like any good story, we really have to start at the beginning. For thousands of years, our view of Jupiter was just, well, a tiny dot of light in the night sky. But that was about to change. And I mean dramatically. Yeah, for centuries, that's all it was. The ancient Romans named it after their king of the gods, mostly because it was so bright and so steady. But it was still just a star that seemed to wander across the sky. They tracked its journey, sure, but they could never have imagined the world that was hiding inside that single point of light. This timeline really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? It shows our journey from just guessing to actually understanding. I mean, think about it. Back in 1610, Galileo points his telescope up and sees these 4 little moons circling that dot. That discovery shattered the idea that everything revolves around Earth, a huge moment. Then, you fast forward a few centuries, and the Voyager spacecraft fly by, sending back the first absolutely stunning, detailed photos. And now we have the Juno mission flying right over the poles, peeling back the clouds to see what's really going on underneath. So to really get a handle on the scale here, let's just use one number, 11. You could line up 11 Earths side by side, and they would just barely stretch across the middle of Jupiter. Wow, 11 of our entire planet, just to get across its equator. That's not just big, that is a completely different category of world. It really is. And when you have a world that is that massive, you're gonna get an atmosphere to match. It's a churning, violent place. It is, quite literally, a world of storms. And this comparison just says it all. Jupiter's most famous feature, the Great Red Spot, it's not a mountain, it's not a crater, it's a storm. A single storm that's wider than our entire planet. It could just swallow Earth whole, without a trace. Hold on a second. It's been seen for hundreds of years. A hurricane here on Earth? What, it fizzles out in a week or two? How can one storm possibly keep going for centuries? Right, that's the big question. And it comes down to 3 key things. First, the storm is basically fueled from below by heat that's radiating out from Jupiter's core. Second, there's no land. On Earth, storms lose their power when they hit a continent. On Jupiter, there's nothing solid to slow them down. And third, the planet spins so incredibly fast, it locks these storms into stable patterns, so they just keep on going. So there's really no solid ground to stand on at all? If you could somehow dive beneath those clouds, what would you even find inside this giant? Okay, let's take that journey. You'd start off in the clouds, which are mostly hydrogen and helium. But as you go deeper, the pressure becomes so intense, it literally crushes the hydrogen gas into a liquid. Go deeper still, and the pressure gets so extreme that it forces the hydrogen atoms to act like a metal. Can you imagine that? A flowing ocean of liquid metal that conducts electricity? And at the very center, well, the data we have suggests it's not a solid ball, but a fuzzy core, where rock and ice might be all mixed in with that strange metallic fluid. And that huge ocean of metallic hydrogen? That's the engine for this. As it swirls around, it generates a magnetic field that is 20,000 times stronger than Earth's. It's this colossal invisible shield, and it's by far the most powerful one of any planet in our solar system. That is just unbelievable. So you have this incredibly extreme world on the inside, but what about on the outside? We can't forget about its moons. You're right, we definitely can't, because Jupiter isn't just a planet, it's really the center of its own miniature solar system. So let's just focus on the 4 biggest ones, the moons that Galileo first spotted. Each one is a totally unique world. You've got Io, which is covered in active volcanoes. Then there's Europa, a ball of ice that we think is hiding a global ocean. Ganymede is the largest moon in the entire solar system. It's bigger than the planet Mercury. And then there's Callisto, this ancient, battered world that serves as a history book of impacts from space. Wait a minute, volcanoes? Io is tiny, and it's way out in the cold, so far from the sun. It really should be a frozen block of ice, right? Where is all that heat coming from? That's an excellent question, and the answer is one of the most powerful forces in the solar system, tidal heating. See, Jupiter's immense gravity is constantly squeezing and stretching its nearby moons. Imagine you have a stress ball and you're just squeezing it over and over and over. That constant friction generates an incredible amount of heat deep inside the moon's cores. That's what melts the rock on Io to power its volcanoes, and it's what scientists believe keeps the hidden ocean on Europa as a liquid. This idea completely changes where we might look for life. Okay, so we have this massive planet, storms bigger than entire worlds, a completely bizarre interior, and these incredible moons with volcanoes and hidden oceans. Which brings us to the final, and maybe the most important question. Why does all of this matter to us? What is Jupiter's cosmic job, so to speak? Well, it seems to play four really vital roles for us. First, it's a time capsule. It basically holds the original recipe of our solar system. It's also our cosmic shield. Its powerful gravity protects us from a lot of incoming asteroids. Its moons, they could be a cradle for life, offering a place beyond Earth where life might actually exist. And finally, it's a tech driver. It pushes us to build these incredible machines that can survive and explore it. Yeah, it really does bring us right back to where we started. Jupiter isn't just some planet out there. It's a teacher. It holds lessons for us about our past, our safety in the present, and what could even be possible in the future. And that's really the thought we want to leave you with. Thanks to what we've learned from Jupiter, we now know that a vast, warm ocean can exist on a tiny, icy moon so very far from the sun. So if a place like that is possible, what else is out there just waiting for us to find it?